Yeah, good morning, guys. Joe here at Black Rock Central Railroad. Back at a familiar scene. This is where my drop-down area used to be for getting inside the layout. And after the dog decided to chew up a bunch of trees, I decided that I had to make this something a little different. So I made this kind of a permanent mount, or a permanent area. And I just used my rolling mechanic stool to get underneath and back out again. Which for me works fine and dandy. Although I understand that some people are a little reluctant to use that. And it's been suggested that I put the drop down back in again and just keep the dog out of the basement, which I have no intentions on keeping the dog out of the basement. The dog is free to roam the house just like I am and just like anybody who comes over here is. Another suggestion was to remove all the trees or make all the trees removable, which that sounds fine and dandy, except for the fact that there's like 12 or 13 or maybe even 14 trees that would need to be removed anytime I wanted to drop this area down and then put back on again whenever I brought the raised it back up again. But that's a pain in the ass. So what may happen here, and I'm trying to investigate this right now, which is why I'm just letting you see what it looks like right now. I've taken all the trees off of it. But what I may end up doing here is taking this section completely out. I have to make a new base for it underneath, to where it's nice and squared up and everything's screwed together just properly, and make this a removable section. Instead of just dropping down, it would completely slide out and be moved to the side to let people in and out, and then slid back in again. The only thing we would have to do would be to come up with some way to make sure the track all stays powered, which would just be something simple as a plug-in. Right now I'm trying to just measure things out and see what would this entail. I don't think it would be all that difficult to get it done, but I would have to put two basically runners or supports underneath of the of this section to run underneath here and here, underneath of here, so that it would have something to slide back and forth on to make it easier, or to make it supportive enough that when it's in there, it doesn't have to be latched down or bolted down, anything like that. And it would just be pick up a bunch of 1x3s and completely, once I take this out, I can show you what the bottom of it actually looks like, which is why I say it had to be completely modified, and because it was not built the way it should have been built from the get-go. But that way there, I could slide this out of the way, set it over here on the side, let people get in and out, or, you know, even if I'm just working on the layout, it would be a lot easier without that in there, so that I could just move freely about instead of getting on the roller. However, I don't know whether I would want it to slide this way here or whether I would want it to slide the other way. I'd have to put a stop either way so it only goes so far. But that's something that I have to look into once I get started on this thing. But I just thought I'd get you started with this video and let you know what my thought process here is. And we'll go from there. When I figure out what the hell I'm going to do, if anything, I will get back to you. So for now, this is Joe from Black Rock Central Railroad. Y'all stay tuned for the next episode. Bye for now. Okay guys, here we are with the whole section removed. This was the hinge section, and it used to drop down. And then this section over here was always a pain in the ass to try to keep level because it was never cut out right to start with. So what we're going to end up doing here is a new piece of wood, a 1x3. It's going to go from, where am I here? This area here, all the way straight back, so that is a nice a nice piece of wood right there that we can attach it, the underside here to get our runner in here. Moving over here to the section that was removed, a lot of this is it's kind of difficult to see here because we're so damn close, but you can see here that a lot of these boards here were never cut to the right length to start with for adding anything on. So all of that is getting replaced so that it will be a nice sturdy module, shall we call it. And it will just slide in and out once we get it done, I hope, anyway. It will slide in and out without any trouble at all. All we'll have to do is just run a couple of wires from the tracks, tie them together on a plug, and you just have to unplug the wires, boom, slide it out, slide it back in, hook the wires back up again. But as I say, all of these 1x3s in here are all eventually going to get replaced. I got to wait till payday now to do anything else. We're kind of stuck where we are. So we'll bring you back when we got some more to show you what's going on. So for now, this is Joe from the Black Rock Central Construction Zone again. We'll talk at you later. Bye for now. Okay guys, what we have here now is the formerly, something like that. That's not the way that's supposed to sound, but used to be a drop down section. Then it became a solid section. Now it's been taken back out, rebuilt, new framework underneath of everything, and it slides out to allow people to come and go. We slide it out, reach around, pick it up. Anybody that needs to get in can now get in, or I can set this off on the side if I'm going to be working in here where I have to constantly get back and forth. And then eventually here we'll get this put back in and get all the track hooked back up again and get all the trees put back on and get my bridge back together. Because we had to take the bridge out to get all of this back in here again. I do want to put a couple of stops on the back side so that it only goes back in so far, because it can go way past where it needs to go or way past where it's supposed to go. And now I just screwed myself up here somehow. Oh. There we go. Yeah. That's about all the farther it's going to go. But then we got to get all the track put back on again. I'll probably end up replacing both those pieces. I've got some 3-foot flex track over there to get everything back in. It will have to be wired up, and I'll have a plug underneath it here so that I can just unplug it and before I take it out, and then plug it back in again once it's back in where it belongs. But for now, I think we're going to call this video done, and I'll start another one once I get everything back together again, and you can see what we've got going on. The backdrop will still be on a swing out so that that's not in the way of anybody, but for now I think that's going to be it. This was kind of a pain in the butt to get everything back in here the way I needed it to be. But I think for anybody that does come over, you don't have to take my little handy stool anymore. Although when I first, before anybody comes in here, I will have to slide underneath of it because it's only going to come into this end here. I can't take it out the other end. The backdrop doesn't allow for that. It'll only come one direction. But I think it'll be easier on everybody. And like I say, it's actually only one day out of the year that I have more than myself over here. But I think that'll do everything. We'll get a new piece of fascia put on the front here. Get my holes filled in where I had to chisel things apart to get it all out of here. And get my other bridge abutment put back in and get the bridge put back in again. So for now, that's going to call it quits. We'll get this thing posted sometime today so you can keep track of what the hell I'm doing. So for now, this is Joe at the Black Rock Central Railroad. Y'all have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next video. Bye for now.